Lovely. Well, welcome everybody to our November Interagency meeting. For those of you who haven't been before, this is hopefully a very relaxed meeting where you can share information, and please do, if you can, stay for the whole meeting to listen to the other attendees, because you will learn a huge amount as part of these meetings. What I'm going to do is go around the screen as best I can, and if you just introduce yourself and then just a couple of minutes on what it is that you want to share with the rest of the group. I shall introduce myself as well. I'm Alison Wells. I'm a Community Engagement Officer with the Council. Part of the Community Engagement team. There's 4 of us in the team. I think Mark normally does these meetings, but he's unwell at the moment, so he's not with us. And one thing that I would like to share with you is, I'm sure that some of you are aware of our area forum meetings, which we hold across Bath and North East Somerset. And for Bath, rather than a formal meeting, we've now introduced some community conversations which have been taking place in different parts of the city in residential areas. So it's a new thing we're trying. We've had 4 so far in Larkhall, Weston, Foxhill and at Bar City Farm. So if you see those promoted and advertised, that's what we're doing. And going to places where there's other community activities going on so that residents can come along and have a chat with us. And it's been really interesting so far, and that's something we hope to carry on doing to see how those go. So that's just some information I wanted to share with you. So I'll be quiet now, and I'm going to go to the first person on my screen, which is Jane Kemp. Welcome, Jane.
Hi there, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Yeah.
I think you're on mute, Jane.
Oh, no, I've unmuted it actually. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
great. Okay. I'm from Sendias B&NES, which is Special Educational Needs and Disabilities Information, Advice and Support Service. And we support children and young people with SEND and their families with information and advice about the whole process, really, from when people have initial concerns about their child to speaking to the school or nursery about getting extra support, applying for an education, health or care plan. We help families to liaise with the local authority. We help them to prepare for meetings. We can come along to meetings if we have the capacity. So, and we signpost to other organisations. So we're a huge support for families, and we're at arm's length from the local authority and the SEN team. So the information we provide is impartial, confidential. And yeah, like I say, we're here to support the families, and a lot of people don't know about us. So what we have been doing is going out and about to schools across B&NES, myself and a group of volunteers called Parent Champions, letting people know about our service, how we might be able to support and how to get in touch with us. And the latest development for us is that quite often families say that they really wish they'd heard about our service sooner in their journey. You know, their child might be at secondary school and they just come across us and they're like, oh, why didn't I know about you when, you know, at the beginning of my journey? So what we're doing at the moment is targeting nurseries and preschools. We're going out and, you know, shouting out about our service there and really letting them know how we can support right from the early days of when SEND might be emerging for families. So that's kind of like a real thing that we're targeting at the moment.
Hi, sorry, Jen. I've managed to get you now. I couldn't hear you. I think it was me. Has anyone? But everybody else heard you, didn't they? That's the most important thing.
Oh,
so
good.
Has anyone got any questions for Jane? No? Oh, well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Nice to see you.
I'll pick that up on the transcription. I'm going to move now to Jessica Hudson. Welcome. Hi, Jessica.
There we go. Hello. Okay, I can't see myself because I've minimized the screen. Hang on a second. There we go. Hi everybody. So my name is Jess. I am a community sight loss advisor for a charity called Sight Support West of England. What we do is we provide information, advice, and guidance to people living with sight loss, either with full sight loss or low vision. And I think I'm here to get to know a little bit more about all the other organizations within BANES, but also to let you know that I am involved with the BANES community. What we do is we offer social hubs where members of each community can come along once a month. I am there to provide one-to-one assessments and just to get to know our service users a little bit better, to find out what their needs may be and what support they might be looking out for, no pun intended. But then we also have a bit of a social on the side where our service users are able to have a chat and a coffee with other like-minded people who are living with sight loss. So the areas that I operate in are Keynsham, at the Keynsham Library. In Bath, I go to the St. John's Hospital, there once a month, and the other one is Midsummer Norton, and then we also we're trying to get a little bit more traction at our True Valley event in Stratton Dew. So we've got a lot going on, a lot of events that I'd love to share with you as well, perhaps within the network over email, and that's us. Thanks.
Lovely. Thanks, Jessica. And it's lovely to see you because we've spoken on the phone, haven't we?
Yes,
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello. Has anyone got any questions for Jessica? No, I've got one. Just in terms of your Chew Valley session, it was, I think I mentioned it when we spoke, Stanton Drew's an interesting location. It's not the most accessible. I just wondered, do you know the reason why that was the area chosen?
I think I must just in the offset say that I am still fairly new within the organization. I've only been here for about 2 months, but I think because they wanted to service areas that might be a little bit sort of in your sort of corridor area that are a little bit more difficult to access. I have said, what if we looked at expanding into I think it's Bishopstown, and sort of areas where we might get a bit more activity, and apparently it's if there is a need and if there is a demand for it, then we can start looking into it. Obviously, being a charity, many of you will know that it also depends on resources as well.
Brilliant. Okay, well, we'll follow up again about that because I think Bishop Sutton and Chew Magna, possibly a couple of places to consider if there's need. And again, if anybody, is working with any clients that might benefit from their services, do follow up with Jessica. Do feel free, everybody, to pop your details in the chat if you're happy to do that, and use this as an opportunity to network between yourselves as well. It's lovely, Jessica. Thanks for coming along. I'm going to move on now to
add, sorry. I just wanted to add that one of the things that we're hoping to explore is getting younger people involved, and sort of more active in sort of the sight loss community. We view sight loss as something that generally happens to the older generation. So we're trying to introduce virtual hubs as well, where people who are within work are able to join our hubs online instead of in person, and also trying to involve parents of children with sight loss. so that we can provide information and advice to them. So there's definitely a community there. So we offer digital inclusion sessions as well for learning your phone or your laptop or computer. So please feel free to get in touch if that's something that might interest anyone that you know.
That's brilliant. Thank you. And I think Dina's got her hand up. Welcome, Dina. Thank you for coming.
That's okay. Sorry, I was here for a moment and then my technology went a bit peculiar. So thank you, Jessica. And I apologize because I think I missed the beginning part of your introduction. And obviously I'll introduce myself properly when the moment comes. But I'm Dina. I'm a counsellor in Southdown, and as counsellors, I think we've done quite a lot with Steve Hind from the RNIB.
All
I have to
right.
think about that in case I say RNLI, which I know is entirely different, but the danger of acronyms. But I just wondered how your work aligns with what he does around, promoting sort of accessibility, I suppose.
Oh gosh, it's sort of promoting accessibility. We're more there to provide information, advice, and
Okay.
and sort of to help you manage independently. We do a lot of signposting to RNIB, so that could look like anything from referring on to one of the rehabilitation programs or organizations within B&NES if you need somebody to come to your home and do an at-home assessment. And then sometimes it could be as simple, I say, as needing equipment, which we often get from the RNIB. So we do a lot of sort of, I don't want to say collaborations, and that's not the right word, but we're definitely signposting to the RNIB. We kind of keep connected with them in
That's
that
brilliant.
sense. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Lovely. Thanks, Jessica. Right then, I'm going to move on now to Karen. Karen Frayling. Welcome, Karen.
Hello, thank you. So I'm Karen Frayling. I'm one of the regional managers for Julian House. My portfolio spans across B&NES and Wiltshire, but in B&NES, I'm responsible for the outreach team, the direct access 24-hour hostel, all the supported housing. So very busy, as you can imagine. I have been asked to come along. I haven't been to one of these before to just to work out where it sits within the organisation and who should be attending. And I do at 1:30, I'm afraid.
That's fine. We haven't got so many today, so we'll probably be done. But yeah, we never know how many are going to come. We can get, over 30 at times, so today's obviously a busy day for people. We did hold these in person before COVID and moved them around the district in different areas, but we moved them online during COVID, and they've worked very well that way, so we've decided to keep them. And of course we can record them and pop them on the YouTube channel, and we get a lot of catch-up views of that for them as well. So yeah, you're very welcome, and it's really just an opportunity for organisations to network with each other. We sort of host it really rather than run it. It's very much your meeting, so do make good use of it. And yeah, you're very, very welcome. I'm going to move on now, if no one's got any questions for Karen, to Donna. Welcome, Donna. Donna Peake.
Hello, Alison. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
This is my first turn at being at one of these meetings as well. So yeah, it's great to meet you all. I'm the Community Engagement and Volunteer Coordinator at Dorothy House. So we're a hospice that you may know already. It's actually what Jessica was saying there about Chew is one of our new areas. So we've just recently taken over Chew and providing hospice care there as well. But we've got about 800 square miles that we cover across Wiltshire, B&NES and Somerset. Just a couple of things I just thought I'd let you know about that are happening. We've got a new bereavement help point, which will be opening in February. That's going to be based in Peasdown St John. So if you have anybody who is a bereaved person of adult age, they can come along to that. So we're going to start advertising that really soon. It will be advertised across North Bath, Peasdown, and into Radstock and Midsummer Norton. We're trying to capture as many of those communities as we can. And the other thing to let you know is that we've got in Chew Valley, actually, we've got a Wills clinic, which will be running early next year on the 15th of January from 10 till 12. So if you've got anybody in that area that you know of that's a little bit unsure about how to write a will, where to go to get a will, we're going to have someone who's going to be at that service who is a specialist in that area and that can give advice. So I'm happy to share anything with you or with Alison after the meeting, and we can get that information out. So yeah, nice to meet you all, and I'll be here for future meetings.
Thanks, Donna. Angela, got a question for Donna.
Yeah, I just wondered where you're meeting in Peasdown. Is it the Hive or somewhere else?
It is, yes. Well done. Yeah, thank you. It's the Hive. We've just literally booked that within the last week, so it's going to be at the Hive. It's going to be an evening session. So we've got lots of bereavement help points that are already open during the day, and we felt that for people coming in from work that may need somewhere to go, we're going to have it on a Tuesday evening, and it's going to be from 6:30 to 8:30. So yes, so once I get the leaflets drawn up, I'll send them over.
Lovely, thanks, Donna. Yes, and for those of you who don't know, our team produce an interagency e-bulletin, and we're always happy to share things. So just send things. I'll pop my email address in the chat, and if there's anything you want to promote, just send that over to me, and I can get that out. We try and do it monthly. I know I'm a bit behind on November's, but I will do a sort of November, December bumper edition. So
Lovely.
Lovely.
Thank you very
Brilliant.
much.
Okay, thanks, Donna. I'm going to move on now to Deborah Xavier. Welcome.
Hi, thanks very much. So I am from Sweden, which is an eating disorder charity. We support young people, adults and parents who have eating disorders, or supporting someone with an eating disorder. We work closely, but we'd like to do more. So we're just ramping up to do some more in the area. So I'm here really just to say we're here if you know people who need our help. And it would also be great if anyone has ideas of counselling appropriate space that we can rent in Bath or North East Somerset. I'd be really interested to hear about that for our one-to-one sessions with our clients. That's probably it from me. Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Thanks, Deborah. Has anyone got any questions for Deborah? No. Are there any particular areas of BANES that you're wanting to hold your sessions in?
Well, we already work with some clients remotely in the area. Probably Bath initially would be a good place to start with one-to-one sessions, but it's just so that clients have a choice if they want to meet face to face. Yes, so any suggestions? Great, thank you. I've already got one. Brilliant, thank you.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, I'll have a think as well. And if you were thinking of Peasdown, I know the Hive has got some spaces like that you can rent, but I'll have a think too and come back to you with some suggestions in Bath. Susie, you've got a question.
Yeah, quick question, Deborah. What's the rough sort of waiting list time for your one-to-one counselling at the moment?
I think it's about 6 months currently, 4 to 6 months.
Right,
but we're working on getting some more funding in so that we can speed stuff up.
Great, thanks.
Thank you. I'm scribbling notes at the same time, multitasking. I'm going to move on now to Chloe. Welcome, Chloe.
Hi there. Hi, everybody. I'm from Live Well BANES, which I hope most of you know of, part of BANES Council, but we're a standalone website providing information and signposting to local support but very much for three discrete groups of people in BANES. They are any adult with a care and support need, our first group. Secondly is Live Well BANES is the home to the Send Local offer, so that's information and services that are available in BANES for parent carers and young people with Send up to 25. And finally, universal children and family information. So that's all childcare available in BANES, and also a lot of parenting support as well. So that's our three groups of people. So far, all of you that have spoken are on Live Well, which is really great. But just a reminder, we really appreciate if you can keep an eye on your listing, periodically look at it and update it. You should all be able to log on and update your own listings. And if you can't, come back to us and we can help with that. Also, if there's anything particular that you really want to push, that a few of you have mentioned new initiatives that are coming up, new groups. If you want anything really specific pushed, we're quite active on our social media. We've got quite a big audience on there, so we can do little pushes on particular events or activities, etc. So just get in touch. Email livewell@bathnest.gov.uk, or if you just go onto the site, we have a contact us form, comes straight through to us. Just get in touch. Quick one finally. Warm Spaces, which has been an initiative going for the last, well, we're in our third year now. The Warm Spaces directory for BANES is hosted on Live Well BANES. You can find it. We've got about 25 venues at the moment who are offering a warm space this winter. So if any of your organisations are not on there and are offering a warm space, have a look at it, get in touch with us, tell your service users about it. It sits within the cost of living section on Live Well. We have a dedicated cost of living section which provides a lot of information around cost of living issues. So have a look at that as well, as it's very timely. I think that's enough from me. Any questions?
Yeah, I think Dina's got a question for you, Chloe.
Hi, Chloe.
Hi.
Yeah, and this possibly applies to other services as well. But over the last few months, I've needed to try and navigate various parts of council websites in order to find some information for various residents, and it's not always been super easy. Sometimes it's been a little bit unintuitive, which I think is the right word. So does anybody other than those within BANES or within an organisation that but presumably has knowledge of the various services, so kind of like test the sort of how navigatable, I think I should use words that I could actually pronounce, how easy it is to navigate the websites in order to find the information. I think so there's various things I was looking for. One was a piece on autism services, and I think another one was it's another sort of social services, childcare. Actually, that's what that one was as well. I just wondered, whether or not that has ever been asked of you.
Yeah. Well, yes. A couple of things. So we are separate from the BANES public website, but there's an awful lot of crossover between our site and the BANES public website. We are also supported by the web team within BANES. They support us technically, or rather around the tech, behind the scenes stuff. Yes, they're constantly developing all of that. It's probably if you do have particular issues around that, it's good to go to the web team to contact Timothy White. But obviously I can forward questions to him on your behalf. A couple of things, because we are a government website, we have gov.uk. If you do Google searches looking for information that's on our site, it will come up in Google searches. Live Well and the public website also have their own search facilities, so you can search on the site themselves, but just bear in mind that if you're searching on Google, the public website and our site will come up high in results because we're a government website. That's the way the algorithms work. I think that we try and make it intuitive. It's obviously there's a lot of content on our website. We try and make it as intuitive as possible. Obviously, it's designed via a series of tiles, like all government websites are nowadays. But we have to organize it in a certain way, and obviously something that might be intuitive to us might not be to other people. It's a tricky one. If you've got specific questions, like specific content you're struggling to find, please do come back to us. Contact us via the contact us form, because we can change things very easily. That's the beauty of being in-house, is we can make, and we do, and we're constantly changing things and improving things. We hope we can be very reactive to feedback, so please do come back to us with any. We really welcome any feedback, so anyone has feedback, please get in touch with us via our contact us form.
Thank you, Chloe.
I hope that answers some of those questions.
Great. And my advice would be, if I'm ever looking for anything on the council's website, I Google it, go in from the outside, put in what you're looking for,
yes.
and put B&NES on the end of it, and generally
Yeah.
it will come up very high, and you'll find it that way. I think
Yeah,
we had.
So I should have said you need to use the B&NES word, B&NES
Yeah.
or Bath or B&NES.
Yeah.
If you use any of those words alongside what you're looking for, and if it's on our site or on the council website, it should come up.
Don't worry, Chloe. I think most councils have the same problem.
There's just huge swathes of information on the site. There really is, and when you can find it, it's really valuable information. But yeah, we appreciate it's not always easy. Donna was next.
Hello, hi Chloe. I just wanted to check with you. You said you had a Living Well email address or something that we could use.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thanks, Donna. Did I see another hand temporarily? Did anybody else have a question? Jessica, there we go.
Yes,
so.
hi. No, it was me. It was just on the topic of navigation and accessibility, and I just wanted to, I don't know, just express my opinion more than anything, that I have found it increasingly difficult to navigate a lot of government-related websites. And I've just come off one chat. It was an interagency charity meeting, funny enough. And I think one of the things that have become incredibly popular lately is checking accessibility and navigation within your website. And there are certain, I don't know if it's tools, formats, or websites or services that are available. But I think there are sort of solutions in that space, and I'm personally curious to find out what that looks like from a user interface perspective, from an accessibility perspective, and how do we make these websites easier to navigate, because chances are a lot of us are either neurodivergent or in some sort of capacity where we need a little bit of extra support. And I've said it time and time again, where you'll find that you'll design something with accessibility in mind, and your normal users your non-disabled or your non-neurodivergent people will probably find it incredibly appealing just because by nature of its design, it's simple and easy to read. So I just wanted to share that. Hopefully next month I'll be able to come back with some more information on what that service or interface might look like.
Thanks, Jessica. That'd be really helpful. Yeah, we do have a member of staff, and one of very few people in the entire world who is an expert on accessibility. She's passed a particular qualification recently. I think she's one of something like 6 in the world that has this qualification. So we're really proud of her. And she does amazing work on trying to make things accessible. But yes, definitely our web team and our comms team, I think, will be really interested in hearing more. And I know they love to do focus groups, and it's usually pressure and time, but yes, it's something that we will definitely. I'll have a chat with Tim about the points that have been raised today. But thank you very much. Lovely. I'm going to move on now to Susie Brooke Davis. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, this is my first one of these as well. I'm from Your Park, and we work across Bristol and Bath in several different ways, but I lead the Routes to Wellbeing programme. So we run a programme of nature connection sessions out in parks. We were working in Brickfields Park in Bath, but we are temporarily moved across to Twerton Roundhill. Our programs for people with mental health problems and people who have got life challenges, could be loneliness, isolation. And we do 18-week programs, as I say, and they are delivered in 6-week blocks with it's quite a lot of support. So we do a full triage, an assessment before people join us. And then in between each of the 6-week blocks, we do a review call. So the kind of focus really is about nature connection, and we also look at sort of routes out, the pathways out of the programme as well. So right from the beginning, we're talking to people about endings and progression routes. So it's quite a well-supported programme. People can start at any point during that 18 weeks. And if they start partway through a block, we can give them an extra block at the end. There's quite a lot of flexibility involved. We've actually got spaces in our programme starting in January, so we're open to referrals, and I will put a link in the chat in a moment for that, or people can refer directly on our website. And it's anyone 18 plus that we work with. I suppose the only criteria really is that they have enough mobility to be able to get out into the park, but that could be with support. We do have support workers that come with people, and that's always very welcome as well. And every session includes a free lunch to start with, which is provided by Bath City Farm. And we can provide transport or help with transport as well.
Great, Susie. Thank you. Dina.
Hi, honestly, I won't ask a question of everybody, but I just wanted to say thank you very much to Susie for all the work she and the Your Parks team does, because Brickfields is one of our parks in Southdown, and confusingly, the Twerton Roundhill is also in Southdown. So, so thank you very much for everything that you're doing, and certainly some of the changes that you've made in the other parks that's in Southdown that you didn't mention around Hillcrest, about the little pond that's been put in there, have been met with great interest from residents. I know you put another pond in Brickfields, but yeah, so I just really wanted to say thank you.
That's good to hear. Yeah, there's been quite a lot of work in Brickfields recently. There's been some
yes.
lovely new seating, and there's some swings to come, all based around some research that we did with young women and girls and their access to parks. So that's quite exciting.
Which was something I was very keen on when I met up with Charlie a couple of years ago, and we were talking about what more could be done. So yes, I'm really glad that that was taken on board. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Has anyone else got any questions, Susie? No. Right, I'm going to move on to Wendy Loads. Hi, Wendy.
Oh, hi. Hi, good afternoon. Hello, hi. I'm Wendy Loads. I'm a liaison officer with the England Illegal Money Lending Team. We investigate, arrest and prosecute illegal money lenders and help the victims get their lives back on track. Just really here to just kind of, just to remind you that I'm still here fighting the cause of victims of loan sharks. We have got a few projects on the go. The first one is an over 55s project. So we're trying to raise awareness to people over 55. We are finding that more people over 55 are turning to illegal moneylenders. I'm also heading up a project of working with organisations that support people with life-limiting and life-changing illnesses. So I know, Donna, you're on the call from Julian House. So I would love to catch up with you at some point. We do know we've had a few cases now where people that have got terminal illnesses have turned to friends of friends to try and make ends meet, and those friends of friends turn out to be loan sharks, which is why I'm heading up this separate project. And also we've got our Christmas toolkit out now for social media. So if you are interested in that, I will put my email address into chat and just contact me about any of those things that we're doing. If you want to know more about the project, I do online training sessions. So there's a lot we can do to raise awareness together. Yeah, so thank you very much. Thank you.
That's great, Wendy. Thank you. Are you in touch with Age UK BANES locally?
Just trying to get well, I'm just trying to get my mic back on.
Yeah.
Yes, I was going through I can't remember her name now, but yes, we are doing quite a bit of work in Bath already for
Brilliant.
the over 55s project. So
Lovely.
so yeah, thank you.
Excellent. That's good. Anyone got any questions for Wendy? No? Brilliant. I think you and Donna are sharing details in the chat. That's great. Thank you. So I'm going to move on to Angela Ems. Hi, Angela.
Hi everybody, I'm Angela Ems. I'm a philanthropy manager with Quartet Community Foundation, talking about things that were tricky to say. We tend to use user experience, that's a bit easier when talking about websites. So we work with charitable groups, generally with a turnover of under £1 million, making grants to those organisations across Bristol, North Somerset, BANES and South Gloucestershire. It's not our money, it's our fund holders' money. So if you ever come across anyone who's interested in setting up something like a charitable trust, rather than go through all the rigmarole of having to register a charity commission, find trustees, etc., we might be an alternative for them as well if they're looking to support local causes. I also work with existing charitable trusts where they are also struggling to get money out or find trustees, and we have a program that we can work with under the Charity Commission to actually transfer their trusts across to Quartet, which ultimately means that there's more money to be able to give out in grants to the groups that we're supporting. I think most groups across the area are seeing rising costs and rising demands, and have been for the last couple of years. We're no different in terms of the demands that are coming in for our grants programs. So our Express is our open access grants program, and that at the moment is probably the success rate with that program is probably about 57%. So certainly a lot lower than it has been in the past, but just because there's a finite amount of money that we have available to give out. We tend to give out about 5 million a year. We've got quite a few grants programs that have all are now closed for applications. We're doing all the behind the scenes due diligence, and hopefully you will hear back one way or another if you've got applications into Bath and West Community Energy, Wessex Water Community Fund, and the Office of the Police and Crime Commissioners. We've got have all got panel meetings coming up for decision making. So hopefully you will hear before Christmas if you've got an application in to us.
Lovely, thanks, Angela. That's really helpful, and it's reminded me that the other thing I forgot to tell you was we've got a funding finder on our website now that the web team have developed for us. We used to have a funding journal, which was just a PDF of a Word document, but now it's a bit more searchable, and anybody can access that. I'll pop a link in the chat, and that's a good source of information on local and national funding, not just funding from the council. So we always pop the Quartet opportunities in there as well. And yeah, Angela, one thing that I get asked about a lot in terms of funding, people always want funding for core costs, and there seem to be fewer opportunities. do you think funders are starting to change and recognise that actually a lot of organisations need money just to keep going and keep, rather than for a specific project, they just need money for their running costs?
I think in terms of Quartet, definitely. So probably prior to COVID, we focused very much on things like our Express programs, where they were very much, that was traditionally about project funding. We will now fund some core costs through that. But one of the things that came out of Quartet was we then launched our Resilience Fund, which was more about making sure there's no point in an organisation running a project if the organisation itself isn't going to be secure and stable, and that actually allowed groups to take time to invest in themselves, whether that meant a new website, whether it meant just management thinking time to decide and plan strategies going forwards. As it's a larger grant program, so Express is grants of up to 5,000. Resilience, when we run it, is up to 10. It often gets massively oversubscribed, as you can imagine. The last round of that we did, we were prioritising quite small organisations, so those with a turnover of under 350,000 was our priority, just so that we could at least manage expectations. One of the things we've signed up to over the last year is the IVAR principles, which are those of kind of clear and transparent grant making. So what we're trying to do is, yes, it might seem that we're closing down some of our grants in that we're being more restrictive in the qualifying criteria, but that's also to try and save people's time and not waste it. If you're not going to have much chance of being successful, then we'd rather you knew before you go to the effort of putting in an application than us coming back to you afterwards going, no, sorry, you're too big or whatever. But myself and my colleagues are always happy to chat to people before an application comes in as well.
Thanks, Angela. Really helpful. Anyone got any questions for Angela? No? I'm going to move on to Anna Berrier. I said that right? Hello, Anna, can you hear us? Oh, nothing from Anna. We'll come back to her. Katie from National Trust. Are you there? Hey, welcome.
I had my video off for a little bit because I just had to eat some lunch. That's all done now. Hi, Alison, and hi, everyone. I'm Katie, so I work up at Bath Assembly Rooms in Bath, and I am community and volunteering officer here. So mainly my role sits on the community side, so that looks like doing community engagement around the project that we have underway of refurbishment of the assembly rooms, and also a lot of outreach that we've been kind of ramping up in the past few months and really looking to do a lot of from next year onwards. Working with some of the universities and Bath College with sort of skills and development opportunities. So really kind of keen to kind of make connections across the city and the wider kind of local area. I think probably particularly what's current at the moment is our plans for next year. So we will have all our planning permission has been approved, which is fantastic. So we'll be having builders come onto site in the Bath Assembly Rooms early next year. So that means a lot of all of my role really will be moving to outreach, which is really exciting actually. So kind of taking a lot of the ethos and the stories of the Bath Assembly Rooms out and about to local communities in our area. So we've got kind of 3 kind of particular focus areas due to some of those kind of connections we've already been making. So working with people up at Snow Hill, which is just up the road, London Road from us, making some connections down in Twerton, and then also Radstock as well. So if people kind of work out of those areas or have groups or service users that are interested in getting involved in some of the work we're doing at the assembly rooms, then yeah, please do reach out. I'll pop my email in the chat. So that will be sort of our big focus from next year onwards, and we're kind of looking to take a bit of a roadshow around Bath and the area, so thinking about how we can kind of run activities and workshops and events in partnership with people in and around Bath, particularly looking at kind of social isolation action. I know a few other people have mentioned that being a kind of focus of their work. For us, that's sort of really key, because the whole point of the assembly rooms was built as a place where people could come together and socialize and connect with one another. So thinking about how we can kind of enable people, support people to do that today is something we're really keen to think about and explore with others as well. So yeah, please do reach out if you've got any questions. I've been running some connection cafes once a month as a bit of a trial at the assembly rooms, but obviously when the building isn't accessible because it's going to have builders all over it, I'll be kind of taking those on the road as well. So Alison's been chatting to Alison about some potential for that. But again, if you have places that you kind of are keen to run things together, I really enjoy doing things collaboratively. So please do let me know. So yeah, shall I pop my email in the chat, Alison? And then if people have questions, they can either ask now or drop me an email
That
afterwards.
would be great. And myself and the team went along to one of the connection cafes, and it was brilliant just to see, you know, who was coming and what you were doing. And it was lots of people. In fact, you had a couple of people that had never been before as well when we came. And you know, the lady sort of leading a session, making, is it a day book? Is that what they call? Have I got that right?
They were called commonplace books. So they were like a kind of communal journal almost. So we talked about journaling and what that means for people now. And then yeah, Karen Woodfield, who people might know because she does a lot of amazing facilitation with the Carer Centre and other places. She led a really great session, and we all made our own books. So yeah, so those are all completely free. We were able to put on some light refreshments, so teas and coffees and some snacks. And I've been kind of trying out different types of sessions. So some craft, some sort of storytelling, some we looked at well-being at different moments as well. So yeah, hoping to pick those up again early next year.
Yeah, it was lovely. It was such a welcoming space, and it was lovely to see people, you know, never been before, sort of being welcomed in and chatting to other people that were there. It was fantastic. And I think I was just thinking there with Chloe mentioning the warm spaces, maybe a little look at some of the places that have opened as warm spaces would be useful as potential venues as well. But if anyone's got any ideas for venues where the National Trust ladies can get out and about into communities to do some of the work they've been doing up at the assembly rooms while it's closed for refurbishment, that would be brilliant. Just pop things in the chat. I think Katie put her details in. Yes, she has. That's lovely. Thank you. Right, Mandy Small, welcome.
Sorry, I couldn't find my microphone. I do have problems with my microphone, so I do have to shout, so I apologise. I may still come across very quiet.
No, I can hear you. Is everyone else all right? Can you hear?
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, good.
But I work for SAFA, the Armed Forces charity. We are a nationwide charity. However, we have just changed the way that we're working. So we now have regional hubs. So we have a main one that covers the whole of the Southwest. That's where all the initial calls and the emails come into. So I'll put the email for that in the chat when I finished. We found with having every county had a branch, which works really, really well for our volunteers. However, it meant that beneficiaries were having to tell their story 3 or 4 times before they were getting help, which led to disengagement. Hence why we've gone to the hub, so they only have to tell it once. So we help anyone that has served 1-day service in the armed forces. That includes reserve service and national service, because they don't count themselves as veterans, even though they are. We also help families and the children. So even if somebody's got divorced, if they've been married or a partner of at some point somebody in the armed forces, we will help them. So we offer a lifetime of support. Prime example, I'm a beneficiary of SAFA myself. I served in the armed forces, as did my husband. We lost him to suicide 8 years ago. So SAFA supported myself and our then 8-year-old son. And they've continued to do so when different things come up throughout the years. So people seem to think that charities only help once, but obviously quite a lot of us do give that ongoing support. Basically, we can help with anything. So if you have anyone from the armed forces community, we can work alongside yourselves to get them all the support they need. So my main aim of what I'm trying to do at the moment is to raise awareness of us within the community, so that people like yourselves know that we're out there and that we can help if needed. That's about it in a nutshell.
Oh, Mandy, thank you so much for this, and thank you for sharing your very personal experience as well. That it does bring things to life, you know, when people are willing to share in that way. I will be following up with you because I'm the officer responsible for the Armed Forces Covenant in Bath and North East Somerset. So I'm delighted to meet you. And we we have set up, I don't know whether you've come across our Wellbeing Hub, and again, this is information for everybody on the meeting today, with exactly that same purpose. It's not specific to veterans because our numbers aren't huge in Bath and North East Somerset compared to other local authority areas, but it's very valuable to veterans and the armed forces population in general, because it is designed for that tell your story just once, and it's not signposting. People think it's signposting. You actually will reach the organisations that can provide support. And people may not be aware, but legislation's changed recently. So in areas of health, education and housing, there are certain organisations that now have to pay due regard when it comes to the armed forces community, and that does include the serving reservists and families and bereaved. So it's something that I know ourselves and our partners take very seriously indeed. So thank you so much, and I will be following up with you. If you're happy to pop your email address in the chat, that would be really helpful for me. And Donna's got a question. Donna.
Hi, yeah. Nice to meet you, Mandy. We've got a project running at the moment. So I was going, once you've got your details in the chat, I will pass them on to our project team who are looking at, you might have contacted, or they may have contacted you already, but they're looking at how we can help better, especially when people are coming towards the end of their life, and they're obviously part of that community, how we can help to support them. So yes, yeah, your email details would be great, and I can pass them on.
Definitely, yeah, I've just put it in there. Just to say that although I'm covering your area and I am going to try and get down to your area beginning of next year, I actually reside in Suffolk.
Oh, right.
However, I can coordinate sort of between everyone. So
yeah, that's lovely. Okay, that's great. Thank you.
That's great, Mandy. Yes, I'm sure we can do. Thank you for popping your email in the chat. And I have heard really positive. There's hundreds of armed forces charities out there, hundreds and hundreds. But SAFA is a name that comes up again and again when speaking to members of the armed forces community as providing really valuable support. It's very highly thought of. So thank you for all the work that you do.
And I mean, no, thank you. That's good to know, and I'll pass it back to the teams. We are actually the oldest armed forces charity, but people have never heard of us. So
I know.
It's good
British
to know that
Legion.
people have. Yes, yeah.
And Help for Heroes, and I learned that Help for Heroes is only post-Gulf War, is that right?
That's the way it started. I think it has now changed to involve everyone, because I think there was a little bit of backlash.
Yeah, well, that's good to know as well. Oh, that's been really helpful. Thank you for coming on the call. Really appreciate it. All right, if no one's got any more questions for Mandy, going to move on to Jenny Crossley.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, I've got a thick coat on because I live in a very old building and it is jolly cold. And yes, not good. Anyway, so I work for a fuel poverty charity called National Energy Action. So the head offices for us are up in Newcastle, but I'm personally based down in the southwest. And what we do is a combination of lobbying to government about all issues relating to energy and fuel poverty. We also provide support and advice to people that are struggling with their energy bills or having problems with all things relating to energy accounts, water bills, trying to make the properties more energy efficient, all of that stuff. And also partly, which is why I'm on the call today, is we can come out and do talks to community groups and to sort of different demographics about energy efficiencies, priority service register, what we do, the support that's available, how to try and make your money stretch, covering your bills, all of that sort of stuff. And for those who are staff or perhaps workers, support workers, or any other sort of role, we do offer extensive training courses on things like mental health and energy debt, energy advice, all that sort of stuff, which you can go and have a look at on our website. And for charitable organisations, a lot of that training is for free. We also have funding at regular points in the year to issue things like fuel vouchers. Sometimes we can help with an in-house fund to clear energy debt. We can sometimes buy people energy efficient items, so things like air fryers, slow cookers, anything to try and help lower energy costs and enable them to stay warm and have warm meals whilst at home and sort of suffering from the cost of living crisis. So I'll put our link and everything up in the chat. But if anyone needs a speaker to come out and talk to them, I'm your person, please. That's it, really.
Thanks, Jenny. Are you linked in with other organisations locally that are delivering similar things?
Yes. So obviously you've got the Centre for Sustainable Energy, who are fantastic, based in Bristol and cover what used to be Avon, Somerset and Wiltshire. We're very similar in what we do to them, but different. So for example, they might be able to offer home visits. We perhaps can't do that because I literally have clients at the moment anywhere from Cornwall to Northumberland. We've got perhaps direct lines, charity lines into the different energy companies to their vulnerability teams that the Centre for Sustainable Energy might not have. We've got access to language line to work with marginalised communities where English isn't the first language, that perhaps they don't have access to. But we will always look at referring back and forth, depending on client need, to the local agencies if they're better placed to support the client. So, for example, I've got a client at the moment in London with an issue with cross metering. So that means that the meters at his property are registered to a different address, and we need photos of the meters for the energy companies. The client can't do it, so we're trying to get a local agency in to take the photos so we can try and get that problem fixed for them. So we're always happy to collaborate with the local agencies as needed.
Lovely, that's great. If you pop your details in the chat, that'll be lovely. Because I think it would be good to link you in with some of the organisations based at the hub doing quite similar things, and our welfare support team here at the council as well, if you're not already linked in with them.
I think I might be linked in with some of them. Oh, that's the other thing we do. We do have an in-house benefit team that can do benefit checks. So they were telling me one of their smallest wins was, I think, getting some £35 a year of council tax reduction, all the way up to some of those big numbers you hear of thousands of benefit back payment and pension credit and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, anything we can do to help.
Lovely, that'd be great. Some of the partners at the hub, people like Citizens Advice, Age UK, B&NES, and again, doing quite similar things. So we'll link you in so that it's clear who's doing what. I think that'd be really useful. Thank you. Anyone got any questions for Jenny? No? Right. I'm not going to, every time, is it Gosia?
Hi. It's actually Gosha, but I've heard all versions of it. So I honestly, somebody says, "Oh my gosh," and I'm like, "Oh, is that me?"
I'll try and remember. Welcome.
Hi everyone. So I'm Gosha, and I'm the community learning coordinator at Bath College. And I can see that there's quite a few possible connections I would love to make after today's meeting, because we offer courses which are kind of means tested in terms of availability free of charge. So our learners will have to pay for our courses if they earn over £25,000 a year, and that's a personal income rather than family income. So, you know, if you're a woman who's married and then obviously your family income is higher, then yeah, we only look at your personal income. And then there are some eligibility criteria I'm happy to share, but the courses that we have coming up are range from anything to do with art, like sketching, wedding flowers, floral, Valentine workshops, lino cut printing, all kinds of artistic ones, cookery, careers related courses, so things like introduction to holistic therapies, introduction to beauty, CV and interview skills, and then computer courses, IT courses, anything to do with boosting your skills for work or just getting started with computers generally. We have Italian and Spanish for languages. We have a lot of short intensive courses in construction, so we have those in plastering, bricklaying, plumbing, tiling, and more. And then we have swaps, which are short 2-week courses that guarantee you a job interview at the end with an employer who's currently hiring. So that's just a little snapshot of what we have coming up in the next couple of months. We also would love to liaise with local partners to create bespoke IT courses for the community. So at the moment we're talking with Bath Mind, with the Keris Centre, with the Bath Library, to make sure that we offer things that are in demand to cater to the local population. So for example, we do courses for seniors, people who may not be able to use their smart devices. They have a smartphone or tablet and they have no idea what to do with it. So we have ways to teach them to make the most benefits out of those. Computers for absolute beginners, computers for people who would like to work in an office. So there's so much to offer. And at the moment, actually, we've opened up one of the tutors' diaries so that we have that availability and we can talk about possibilities with local partners. So if you are one of those potential partners, or whether you know of anybody who would want to do that, please let us know. I'm sure those will fill up quite quickly. So I would love to make sure that we do something appropriate. Also, we have a course called Life Academy coming up next week, and for some reason it's not filling up like we would love to, but it's a very short course that is running over just 1 week within school hours, and that's another thing. A lot of our courses will run within school hours, not all of them, but a lot of them. And this Life Academy course is designed for people to kind of reignite their passions. So a lot of the time, we have people who might be out of work and they have given up on their dreams and they want to just find a job and just, lose heart for what they could do with their life. And this is a course that could sort of reignite that passion and look at options and a little bit of one-to-one coaching on, what are your passions? What are your pre-existing skills? Maybe you've been home for 10 years with your children and it's like, whoa, there's so many transferable skills that you can discover there, just to give people some confidence. And it's a really good springboard onto further progression, further courses, or maybe other jobs. So, there's ways to sort of find out as well about other things that we can offer. In terms of cookery courses, not really related that much, but one of our kitchen venues have fallen through. So we are desperate to find a kitchen for 3 of our cookery courses. So if you know of anywhere that may have availability, please do let me know. I've just picked up maybe Oasis Hub might have something, but yeah, if anybody knows anything, let me know. And so in terms of connecting with people, I would love to keep in touch. And if you would like to leave your email address in the chat, if you're happy for me to send you the updated list of courses that are coming up that you could share with your clients, that would be amazing. Or if you don't want to be contacted about this, also let me know in the chat so that I won't spam you, because I will. And I've noticed there's a couple of connections I would like to follow up. I'll email you as well. Katie from the Bath Assembly Rooms, I think there's potential, definitely potential there. Susie as well. It'd be great to sort of talk about how we can connect and how we could maybe be a step one, or sort of like a precursor to some of the things that you're doing, because yeah, basically cross refer. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And obviously my colleagues as well here at Bath College run other courses like part-time qualifications. They may not be free some of the time, but also there's a really good way to progress for people who might run out of ideas. We have absolutely 100% free distance learning courses for people who have access to computers. These are mostly level 2, level 3 courses that, you know, you end up with actual qualifications, actual certificates that could be a springboard to meaningful employment. Right, I've been talking for so long. If you have any questions.
Thank you. Goodness, you crammed a lot in. That was brilliant. In terms of venues with kitchens, is it Bath you're looking at?
Yes.
Yes. There is a state-of-the-art kitchen at Elim Pentecostal Church in Charlotte Street, of all places. I'll drop you some details in the chat for Pastor Kenny. It's down some stairs, and I think accessibility is a bit of an issue in that location. But the kitchen itself is fantastic. So, but it might be worth just having a little look at, and I'm sure we'll come up with some more. There was one in Lark Hall as well. I'll check with a colleague and we'll get back to you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem. Has anyone got any questions or suggestions? Oh, Katie.
Hi, Gosha. Yeah, I'd love to chat to you. I think that'd be great. I'm linking up with some colleagues at Bath College with Bryn, Holton and Matt about kind of T-levels, etc. But I'm really interested in the work that you're doing actually and around people who might not currently be in education or employment, and if there's any way we can we're looking to build how we can offer more opportunities for kind of short-term work experience or kind of tasters in different types of work. So if that's something that might interest you, then yeah, really be great to link up.
Yes, definitely. I'll email you shortly after this. It'd be great to connect.
Lovely, thank you.
Thank you.
Dina, thank you for coming.
Oh, hello. So yeah, I'm Dina Romero. I'm a counsellor in Southdown. I've been a counsellor for quite a few years, about 21 I think, and so I've been involved in lots of different areas of the council's work over that time, but I think one of the really important things is finding those connections between different agencies and partners that can actually provide the help and assistance that so many residents, particularly in my area, because I don't know whether you know Southdown, it's I would say it's really closely in geographical space, as well as, you know, in terms of, you know, people who live there, aligned with places like Whiteway and Twerton, which have for a really long time been one of the poorer parts of Bath and North East Somerset. So it's been really interesting listening to everything that you are all doing, and don't worry, I've made a note of I think nearly everybody, so I will be putting various people your way, or at least ringing you about different things if that is appropriate. So I'm sure there's plenty of other things oh yes, I also chair the scrutiny panel that looks at services that are provided to children and adults. So if that's something that you would like to maybe use to let us know about the work you do, then please let us know, because I like to kind of disseminate as much information as I possibly can to everybody that needs it.
Lovely, thank you. Has anyone got any questions for Dina? No? And Ruth Malloy, welcome as well. Thank you for
Hello, sorry I
coming.
arrived a bit late, but I've been kind of dipping in and out, but it's always interesting to hear about all the great work that's going on. Sorry, I'm one of the councillors in Western Ward, and I'm also on the panel that Dina chairs, the Children, Adults, Health and Wellbeing Policy Development and Scrutiny Panel. And so I think it's very important, but for all councillors to know about what's going on, but particularly perhaps for those of us on that panel. But anyway, so I'm here as an observer really, but I am listening, even if I got the camera turned off. Thank you.
Thanks for coming. And say these meetings are open for anybody that will find them helpful. I think I've covered everybody now. If anybody hasn't spoken, shout. No, I think we've got you. And if there's any last sort of minute questions or items you want to pop in the chat? No? Well, thank you all for coming. I appreciate your time and for staying and listening to everybody's contributions. Really appreciate that. Hope you found the meeting useful and look forward to seeing you again at the next one. Before we go, the dates for 2025 are now up on the website. And I should have had that ready to go, really, shouldn't I? Because I could have popped that in the chat, but I will share it in the interagency bulletins as well. So, and you can test out the Googling to find information on the council's website now. Put interagency BANES in, see what happens. Thank you all very much for coming, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.